Hi parents and students. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a breakdown of how math is going to be switching just a little bit this week. So last week we started multiplication and this week we're continuing. Last week we did what was called repeated addition, so where they had the same number and they just added it over and over again. So it was something kind of like this. So I had three groups with two in each group, and then I just added the number in each group. So 2 plus 2 plus 2. So since I had 3, I added it 3 times. So we did that last week, kind of talking about where multiplication comes from and using what's called a visual representation or a model. So where they can actually physically see how it works. And then we can go a step further and tell them that this would be 2 times 3. So I have 2 in each group, which would be the first number, and then I have 3 groups, or you could say it the other way, which it would be 3 times 2. So I have 3 groups and there are 2 in each group, but we know kind of multiplication doesn't matter the order we put it in. So this next step in multiplication is we're going to show kids 2 different ways to represent or show multiplication. And the first way is the way you're already familiar with, which is what we call equal numbered groups. So I had the same number in each group, and then I just counted the groups. This next week, we're also adding in what's called arrays. So I'll show you the difference. So we'll do the same thing I just had. So I'll do my 3 groups of 2. So that's my equal numbered groups. There's the same, I can see it. Arrays are going to be what you see, and it looks kind of just like a square. So there are going to be rows and columns. So what I'm going to do is I have my rows, which is 1, 2, 3, and then I have my columns. So it's the same thing. I would still have 2 3 times, just now instead of putting it into groups, I'm going to put it in what kind of looks like a rectangle with dots. So we'll do another one. Let's say I wanted to visually do the problem 8 times 2. So I would do 2 big groups. So I have 2 groups with 8 little dots in each group. And if I wanted to do that in an array, I would just do rows and columns. So I would probably do so there we are. I have my 2 columns of 8 in each column. Simple as that. I have another video on the agenda that's also really good. It's done by a different teacher, and it's actually a little bit more in depth than this, and she goes into every single step. But I just kind of wanted to show you and give you just a little bit of a basis of how we're going to be talking about multiplication. So this is really helpful because when they get into 3rd grade and they're being asked questions about multiplication, they're going to be asked in these 2 ways. They're going to ask either what does this represent or what does this represent. So it's basically just giving them a visual picture of how multiplication actually works in the math side. Like always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I would highly, highly recommend watching the video that I linked on my agenda. And I hope you guys have a really great week and you guys are working on this multiplication thing. Hope to see y'all soon. Bye.